So the technical spec TS 29580 defines three MBS user service announcement modes, namely, as we see on the screen. And one of the things that we have implemented currently is the post back mode. So in this mode, the user service announcement is conveyed as a part of the user data ingest session. And so basically, the components that are involved in this demo are the application provider who creates the user service, user data ingest session, and the associated distribution session, and the MBSF that processes this user data ingest session and communicates with the MBSDF and with the underlying MBS system enabled Open5GS, including the MBF SMF and other components relevant for the multicast broadcast systems. So for the demo, it's a very brief demo. So basically, the application provider sends the MBS user service as with a JSON document in the body. The JSON document that we will be using in this demo is shown here, and as a part of that, we have an array of the service announcement modes, and then of which the passback is one among them, which is of interest, and that's what we have implemented for this demo. So once we create the MBS user service, the user service gets a UID. This UID will differ based on the running system, and we will create this user data ingest session under this MBS user service umbrella. And this format would have been quite similar to a lot of us over here. And so then once we created, the response come back with the populated user service announcement in the field, and then we will do the update of the user data ingest session, which will update the user user service announcement as well. So let's go into the demo. Here we have the application provider, and we have the MBSF, MBSTF, and the Open5GS 5G core, which is already running. So I will start the MBSTF. So then I will start the MBSF. And now I will create the MBS user service. It has created the MBS user service. So now this one has an active period. So the service switches starts and stops based on the schedule. And for the user service announcement to be available, it needs to be in the active or established state. So I will just have the current time, and the rest of the time, I think it's fine. Create the user data ingest sessions. So yes, so the response have come back from the user data ingest from the MBSF to the application provider. This part would be quite similar to most of us, and yeah, so we have the active periods which are being set over here. And the new thing over here is the population of the MBS user service announcement. All these informations are coming from different sets of the provisioning side. Say, for example, the service IDs come from the MBS user service, the class same, and then the names and the descriptions are available in the MBS user service, but they are repopulated in a different structures. And you have, so there are two levels of service announcements which are coming over here. One is the specific to the distribution sessions, and another is the specific to the overall user data ingest session. In this, the distribution session descriptions are relevant to each of the distributions at the distribution session level, whereas the service schedule, because of the active periods which are over here and at the level of the user data ingest session, they apply to all the data distribution sessions that belong to that user data ingest session. And you get the method, and you have the service description locator from which to get the STP, absolute, that's yeah. And then you have the entry point and the application type, the content type, and then the post session objective parameters. It comes from the configuration of the MBSF, and the object location. All of these are populated from the configuration of MBSF into this field, and then the service description is the one that comes from the active periods. And if you look, there are versions attached to that. So in the next as I update the user data ingest session, I will change the one of the act periods, and you could see that versions changing. So let me change the stop time of the from 558 to 258 to 255, and then do a So I mean, most of the information are same because we've only changed this particular field. So it's the active periods over here has changed as well. And the announcement channel, you could see that there is a version incremented because this one remains the same because we didn't update this start and stop time or the time window, whereas we changed the other one. So the version has incremented. So this is basically the demo that I wanted to demonstrate. Thank you.